Good morning. I'm out on a lovely crisp and bright January morning, and I thought I'd share with you today how you can use the practice of natural mindfulness and nature connection combined with a lovely refreshing walk to help you control those thoughts, those distracting thoughts and thoughts that run away with you. Often when I'm sleeping or trying to get to sleep, I start thinking about one thing and then it flicks to another thing and then another thing and then another thing, and before I know it, my mind is racing. It's a little bit like Lola here. I'm out on a walk with Lola in the background there, sniffing around, and she goes to one thing, then to the next thing, then to the next thing, and if I don't keep an eye on her, she can have shot off, maybe chasing a pheasant or chasing a squirrel or a rabbit or something, and if I'm not paying attention and I'm not noticing where she's going, she's off. Just like my thoughts. My thoughts are like that. And I have quite a few people have said to me that their thoughts are like that as well. It's not a man thing or an Ian thing. It's an everybody thing, I think. And here she comes now, charging over for something. So one minute she's over there, next minute she's over here. She gets easily distracted, and she can easily get carried away with what she's focusing on and lose track of where she is. And most of us that have dogs, you now have those retractable leads that you can give them a little bit of freedom, but then if they're getting too distracted, or if they're not going in the direction you like them to go into, you can kind of call them back in on that lead. But it's not great for her freedom and her ability to run around and just enjoy being. And I think maybe that's why our thoughts do that sometimes. Maybe that's why our thoughts we get distracted. Maybe the thing we're doing is important and it can sometimes be urgent for us. But actually, in the whole scheme of things, what we probably need more in that moment is to just be, rather than to be doing all the time. So I can understand why, maybe our thoughts are trying to tell us that perhaps we're heading in the wrong direction, perhaps we're focusing on things that we've learnt to focus on a little bit too much. But I've got a lovely little practice that I use, a modification of a natural mindfulness practice that I use to help me ensure that I can have some control over my thoughts and not let my thoughts run away with me, and keep myself from being distracted when I know that what I'm doing is important to me, and sometimes when I know those things that I have to do are urgent and are important to somebody else, so I need to be focusing my attention. Now, I think this is a lot of what happens with attention deficit disorder, an unordered way of using our attention. And so this is a little activity that I use to order my attention a bit more and have some control over my attention. Stop it running away with me, stop it going in directions I don't want it to go in. So this is what I do, and I love watching movies and I love making movies, little ones like this, but I love how movies are being made as well. And one of the things I always remember was there was a director that's watching the movie, and when you're filming something and it's not going in the direction that the director wants it to go, the director shouts "cut," and that usually means that what they need is they need a cut to be made in the filming there so that they can take a piece out or splice a piece in. So I kind of know that. I know that idea of cut. It's something that I'm very familiar with. I remember hearing it, and when I used to play being a film director as a child, I would shout "cut." I used to have a little clapper board as well that you used to use for when you made takes. So I kind of know this idea of cut. And so I use that word when I notice my thinking is heading in a direction I don't want it to go, particularly if I'm trying to get some rest. If it's at night and I'm trying to go to sleep and I suddenly find myself thinking about something that I'm supposed to do the next day, or something I haven't done during the day, and that thought starts to gather a little bit of momentum and starts to be moving the other way, I say to myself, cut. And then straight after that, what I do is I bring my attention to my breath. So it's cut, bring my attention to my breath, and notice, am I on my in-breath or am I on my out-breath, the inhale or the exhale? So if I did it now, I'm just thinking about something now, I'm walking along, looking at Loda, and I suddenly say to myself, cut, I'm on the in-breath. And then there's the exhale. Now for me, the in-breath I call refreshing. I have a little natural mindfulness exercise called seasonal breathing, staying in breath, where I connect the cycles to refreshing spring in-breath and a releasing autumn out-breath. Those of you watching that have trained with me or have actually practiced or come across this exercise before will know that already. And so for those of you that have, you'll know straight away that when you get to the refreshing in-breath and the releasing out-breath, in between there is a pause. And when you've gone from the releasing out-breath, just before you get to the next refreshing in-breath, there's a pause too. And that's the pause for relax and the pause for rest. So let's just quickly do a cycle just to familiarize you that know it and to show you those that don't, demonstrate it and share it with you. It's a refreshing in-breath and then a relax through the pause, an out-breath, a release of breath, and then a rest before the next refreshing in-breath. They all start with R, R-E, refreshing in, relax, release out, and then rest before the next refreshing in-breath. So, to put that into the context of this little tip, this little technique for catching your thoughts, catching when they're starting to run away with you, catch them when they're starting to distract you. And what you do is you just say, cut, and then notice where you are in that cycle. Are you releasing your breath? Or are you having a refresh? Or are you in between the breath? Are you relaxing? Or are you resting in between the in-breath and the out-breath and the out-breath and the in-breath? And so, very simple. Notice when your thoughts are running away with you. Say to yourself, cut, stop that, cut. Where am I in my breathing? And then just start noticing your breathing and go through a number of cycles. I tend to go through about 10 cycles of refreshing in, releasing out, refreshing in, releasing out, and noticing the pauses between and adding in relax and rest. Because when you start to focus your mind on relaxing in the pause between the in-breath and the out-breath and resting on the pause between the out-breath and the next in-breath, you start to focus on relaxing and resting. So if I'm going to go to sleep, it's a really great way of helping me go to sleep. If I'm awake and I'm walking around like I am now, rather than focus on the relaxing and releasing, I focus on the refreshing. The relaxing and the resting, I focus on the refreshing in and the releasing out. So as I'm walking, and I'll just get into a space here where I've got a nice bit to walk on. So as I'm walking, just to keep my thoughts in order, I'll be refreshing in, releasing out, refreshing in, releasing out. And I can build the pace. As I'm walking. And every time I find my thoughts going in a direction that are not serving me, that are not bringing me anything. If I'm thinking about something I heard on the news, then I can say cut, bring it back, refreshing in, releasing out, refreshing in, releasing out. I'm breathing in this wonderful refreshing oxygen as I'm walking out, and then when I'm releasing tension and toxicity, and I'm releasing those thoughts that don't bring me joy and are uncomfortable for me to think about, and I'm releasing them, I'm letting them go. Just like the thoughts and ideas, you can just let them go. They're like the weather. Sometimes it's good weather, sometimes it's bad weather. Sometimes it's good thoughts, sometimes it's not so good thoughts. Just let those thoughts that don't serve you go. And the more I practice this, the more it becomes unconscious for me, the more I just naturally find myself, whether it's going to sleep at night or it's coming for a nice refreshing walk like I'm doing now, I just find that if I stop what I'm doing, bring my attention back to my breath, run that cycle through for 5 to 10 times, and it just brings me back into the present moment, and it either refreshes me if I'm out for a walk, or it lulls me off to a wonderful night's sleep if I'm tired and I just need my brain to switch off and lower its frequency while I'm sleeping. So there you go. And all the way through that I was also paying attention, in case you were worrying, to Lola, and she's with me, she's here, doesn't need to be on the lead, I can let her roam free and enjoy it. But if I needed to bring her back, I wouldn't shout cut, I'd shout here, and she'd come straight here to me. Anyway, I hope that helps. Have a go with it, and please let me know how you get along. You know, leave a message under this video if you've used it, and how you get along with it, and if you've got any tips for ordering your thoughts a little bit better, ordering your attention so you're not so distracted, and you don't get a difficult time with thoughts running away from you when you're trying to rest and relax. Let me know about those as well. Anyway, I'm going to enjoy the rest of my lovely winter walk. Enjoy what you're doing today. Hopefully you can get out into nature yourselves, and if you want to join me, if you want to join my growing online platform, my community platform, it's a bit like Facebook but nature based, with none of all of the negativity that's can surround Facebook. Come and join me at Nature Connection World. I'll leave a link below, and you can come join me, and we've got nearly 800 members now. We're nearly up to 1,000 members, which is fantastic. So if you'd like to come and join us, I'll leave the link below. Just click on the link and it's a personal invite to come and join us. Okay, have fun, take care, bye bye.